and welcome back to my channel. I don't know if I can really say welcome back because it's been so long since I posted, but welcome nonetheless. Thank you so much for joining me. Since my last few videos, my Instagram page has changed somewhat and it is now my full-time job. It is my career, which is crazy, and with that has come a lot of new followers, which I'm so grateful for. And by far my favourite thing about all of that is the little community that we're starting to build. So my favourite thing is chatting to you guys, helping you with your homes and interiors, just talking to you. I thought that starting or reigniting my YouTube channel would be a really nice way to connect with you guys a bit more and just create some longer form content that is a little bit more, not realistic because what I'm showing on Instagram is realistic, but just a little bit more kind of relaxed and chatty and informal because that is what I'm craving. So yeah, thank you so much for joining me. I did pop a question box on my Instagram yesterday. I just asked you guys to ask me questions of things that you want to know. So I'm going to answer a few of those questions now. Wendy has come to say hello. Hey. So yeah, I think I'll go through all the house questions first, and then I'll move on to the more personal ones. So let's see. Oh, this is a good one. So first question, what is your favourite room? My favourite room in the house is by far the living room, which we're in now. It is the biggest room in the house, and it's kind of what sold the house to us. It's very unusual. Obviously, we've got the cozy fire behind me, which will be lit now until about February, probably longer. But it's just such a lovely space. It's so unusual. We've got two big stone archways at the back, which used to lead through to the part of the house that's no longer here. The windows are such a labour of love. Every time I look at them, I'm reminded of just how much blood, sweat and tears went into them. If you don't know, we have stone mullion windows that we had to prop the whole front of the house to replace, and we did fit the windows ourselves, which is really fun and exciting. So yeah, just being in this room, I think it's so good for entertaining. It's such an inviting space and it's so much cozier and more welcoming than it was when we first viewed the house, that it really is like you come home, you come into this room and it's like, I'm at peace. And that is really what I wanted with the house. So by far my favourite room is the living room. Oh, so this question says, how do you find living in an older house financially in terms of upkeep, etc.? We would love to do it. Obviously, old houses incur different costs to a new build. So they're far less energy efficient. They aren't really kitted out with like the smart features that a new home would be. I think you're either suited to an old house or you're not. So Norton and I don't really like the house to be super hot. I would rather the house be chilly and then put the fire on and get cozy with a blanket. That is always my preference. In terms of the upkeep, I really don't find it too bad. The major things like the renovation works obviously are expensive, but there are loads of older houses that don't need that doing to them. So I think in general, just in terms of living in an older house, I really don't find it too bad. But if you're someone who loves really, really hot, super fast internet speed, things just working on demand, it's probably not for you. But if you are comfortable with maybe a like slower pace of life and being a bit chillier, sorry, that is Wendy in her cat tree. It's very creaky. Yeah, I don't find it too bad. When we first moved in, because the house was so damp, the heating bills were, oh, they were eye-watering. It was so, so bad. And there were a few moments where Norton and I were like, what have we done? Like, this is ridiculous. Our heating bills from our last house, I think they were 5 times more expensive, if not more, when we first moved here. And we have reduced that significantly. We've halved it since we did all the work drying the house out. So yeah, I don't find it too bad. Next question, we are starting a full cottage reno. What are your top tips and must do or do not? Oh, it's so much fun. Again, it depends how much work needs doing. I personally love to do a house room by room. I think my style is very determined by the room that we're working on. Obviously, I have a kind of overall look that I like and that I would go for. I like the very like soft cottagey traditional look. I'm not super into anything too modern or too flashy. I don't think it would suit this house, just in my personal opinion. Yeah, I would work through your house room by room. Start with a room that isn't too intimidating. I mean, unless you have crazy budget, in which case go for it. Kitchens, bathrooms, you name it. That would be my dream. Yeah, I would just work through room by room and take your time with it if you can. I think that's a really great thing to do. Before you do anything fun, so like decorating wise, make sure that the house itself is sound. So your roof doesn't leak, you don't need your electricals rewiring, your plumbing's fine. And once you've got the basics like that, then you can go on to decorate, because the last thing you want to do is make a room look all beautiful and then be told like, oh, you actually need a whole house rewire, or oh, we're gonna have to like smash that part of the wall up, or whatever it might be. Yeah, just get the building sound before you do anything fun would be my biggest tip. And then secondly, just have fun with it. I think the biggest thing I can recommend with any house, if you're renovating or doing it up or just redecorating, is just do what you want. It's your house. Unless you are purposefully decorating to sell, like you're flipping a house, I would just do it however you want, and don't be too worried about what it looks like when you come to resell, because it can always be changed. And it's the most important thing, I think, to make you happy and it to reflect your personality and personal style. So I would, say just do whatever you want to do to it. And if you choose to share that online, just be prepared for not everyone to be over the moon with it. I've definitely made some decisions with this house that I've loved, and then I've put them on Instagram and not got the response I was expecting. But then I have to remind myself, it's my house and it was my decision, and I'm putting that out there for people to comment on. And use Pinterest, obviously. Oh, so by far the most frequently asked question was, how much did we pay for the house? I always find it funny talking about money because, it's just a bit awkward, isn't it? But I do think it gives a good perspective if you're looking to do a house like this or purchase a house like this, I guess. Obviously, it's so dependent on the area. Oh, I don't know if I want to say. I mean, you can find it online if you know roughly where we are. And I think house prices are house prices, aren't they? So we paid, it started with a 3. And that was a very, very good deal for this house because it needed so much work doing. It was still a big jump for us, as our previous house was our first home. And we were quite young and we weren't looking to move. I've told the story quite a few times on my Instagram of how we came to get this house and how we manifested it in effect, as we really didn't have the budget to even buy it in the first place. Any advice on saving up for a first house? It's really tough. It's really, really tough. I think if you're in a position where you can still live with your family and not pay huge bills, it obviously massively helps. Not everyone's in that position to do that. Fortunately, Norton and I both were, and we were able to work a lot. So I did so many hours while we were saving up for this house. So many. My sister and I was working for my family business at the time. So if you've ever worked in a small growing business, you will know the demand is insane, especially around like Christmas time. So I was able to kind of work as much as I wanted to because there was endless work to be done. So some days we were doing like 20-hour days. It was at the time of the pandemic, and we were an e-commerce business. So there was a lot of work to be done. So that really, really helped. But if you can pick up a second job or just overtime and just pocket that and just be really smart with your budget, I think be realistic with what you can put away. And if you're doing it on your own, amazing. Obviously, if you're doing it with a partner, come up with a plan between you of what you can both put away each month. But yeah, just be realistic with your timescales. It's really hard to get on the property ladder, especially at the moment and in today's climate. So be patient with yourself, be organized with yourself, and just do what you can. This one made me laugh. So one question we got asked was, how far from civilization are you? We're not far at all from civilization. I would love to be in the middle of nowhere. I'm very much the kind of person that I can be at home for long periods of time without going out and socializing, and it doesn't bother me. I'm not an introvert, but I'm not an extrovert. I'm just kind of comfortable where I am. In terms of how far we are from civilization, not far at all. We're not near a big city. We're really not kind of like in the Scottish Highlands or anything like that where you are really remote. We've got access to shops. I think our house is on the kind of border or the cusp of a very beautiful kind of natural area that we're so fortunate to be near. So whenever I make my videos where I go for a walk, I have gone there. We do live in a really lovely little village. We've got a few cocktail bars, a few shops, booths. So yeah, we're really not cut off from civilization by any means, although it does appeal to me in some ways. My dream would be to get a barn that's really, really cut off, but then I am such a scaredy cat, and I know when Norton's away, if I was in the middle of nowhere in a house on my own, I probably wouldn't sleep and I would be terrified. So we're in a good spot. So where am I from? I am from Lancashire, as is Norton. We have moved from where we both grew up, but funny story, we actually grew up really close to each other and we didn't know. So once we started dating, we used to walk to each other's family homes, which took like 10 minutes, which is so crazy to know that he was right there and I didn't know. So yeah, we are both from Lancashire. How did you start learning to do home improvements yourself? That's a really good question. So I grew up with my parents. We moved 3 times when I was younger, and the last house that my mum still lives at was a huge renovation. Went on for about 10 years. It's probably still not fully where my mum wants it to be. So from the age of about 7 to being a teenager, I lived on a building site and there was constantly work being done. I mean, we didn't have a kitchen for 18 months. So I was very used to being in an environment of the house not being finished. And then I bought my first house when I was 19, 20. It's still a very fortunate position to be in to be able to do that. It wasn't an expensive house. So I have spoken about this on Instagram. The house cost me £52,000 and I got a small loan to actually do it up. My mum really encouraged me to do that. I think she knew that I had an interest in it because I've always loved properties and interiors, and I actually used to want to be an architect. That house is really where I kind of cut my teeth on DIY and learning to do things myself and learning how hard it is to do the work. When my skills, it feels so weird to say that because I still don't think of myself as someone who is particularly outstanding at DIY. I try my best and I'm proud of what I've accomplished. But there's so many people that are so much better at it than me. But when we moved to this house, we were very naive to what needed to be done. I won't lie. There was no part of my brain thought that we would end up doing the work we've had to do. We thought that it was new carpets, bit of paint, freshen up job. And obviously it became so much more than that. And it is a huge, huge job to do it properly, which is what we're trying to do. But this house, because we weren't expecting the work to be required, we weren't financially ready for it. And so when we first moved in, we quickly realized that damp was a huge, huge problem, to the point where it was almost uninhabitable, I would say. We'd have paperwork in the house and it would be like it'd been in a garage, soggy. Everything was moldy. The sofas were going moldy. It was just horrific. So we got quite a few experts out and they all said, you have to dry the house out, basically. So house was rendered when we first got it, which I thought was so pretty. I thought it looked really beautiful. And we very quickly learned that the cement render was evil, basically, and it was causing the walls to not breathe, and that was in turn causing all of the internal damp. And honestly, the place just stank. It was horrible, so unpleasant. It was cold. Like I said, the heating bills were through the roof because we were trying to heat wet stone walls that are like a metre thick. So it was after that experience that we actually went and got some quotes from, I think we got 4 quotes from builders to remove the render, and they were eye-watering. 5 figures, terrifyingly expensive, and we just weren't prepared for it. And then it was only after doing a little bit of research and speaking to some of the builders that they'd said, you know, you probably could do this on your own. And so that's what we did. We were kind of forced into doing it. And then the actual process of doing that job, it was such a big job for both of us. Neither of us had ever done anything like that before. I think it just gave us quite a lot of confidence that we can do the things the house needs within reason. Obviously, the actual replacing the mullion windows, we got a stonemason to do because it's structural and it's such a huge part of the house. I didn't want to dabble with that, but something that was just laborious, like removing the render and line pointing, we did, which is, it was my favorite. Like at the time, horrific. And my wrists were, it was agony. But it was that job that really kind of ignited okay, we can do this ourselves. So yeah, I think had we had the budget to pay someone to do that, I definitely wouldn't have got as into DIY as I am. I would have outsourced a lot more of the work that have done, because I wouldn't have believed I could do it. So yeah, I think my advice would be, if you are someone that's wanting to learn to do home improvements yourself, just give things a go. I think start small. Some things are obviously incredibly technical and you need to be qualified to do them, like the stonemasonry and electrical and gas things, but a lot of the more basic things like pointing and plastering, if you're happy with maybe a 90% perfect finish, then give it a go. And I always say to myself, if I really mess up, like if I plaster a wall and I hate it, we can save up and get someone to come and do it over. So yeah, nothing's too permanent. So I would just say give it a go. Things do feel a lot more intimidating than they actually are. And once you've done them, I think you realize, oh, I can do that. So when did we move to this house? We moved here nearly 3 years ago now. The first year we really didn't do anything to the house because we were just trying to figure out what needed to be done. Oh, this is a good one. Is your beautiful home haunted? Oh, yes, definitely. The house was built, well, the first date that you can track the house back to is 1583. However, it could be older. It is the oldest house in this village, so it was the original farm, hence why my Instagram is Emmie's farm. It is obviously no longer, sadly, a working farm, although I would love some chickens and ducks and pigs and sheep, but that was a whole separate conversation. So yeah, the house is super, super old. It's lived through and existed through so much, and it definitely has a presence to it. I grew up in an old house, so I'm used to kind of creaks and noises, and it's like the house is kind of alive. So I was kind of prepared mentally for that. But the first week that we actually moved in, Norton was away, or he was working late a lot of the nights of that week. So I had so much time here on my own, and it was February, so it was dark at night, really early. And I just remember sitting on the sofa just behind you, and I had to ring my mum, and I just said, I don't know if I can stay here. I just felt like constantly like I was being watched. I felt so uneasy, so unwelcome, really anxious and horrible. I felt like something didn't want me here. I know that sounds so wacky, and if you don't believe in kind of ghosts and spirits, that probably sounds crazy. Obviously, we stuck it out, and then we soon after met our neighbours. So our house used to be an H-shaped house. The kind of stem of the H and the middle part are still there, and then whatever the other side looked like has been demolished. There's no records of why. I have looked so hard. There's no record of what happened, the story. Did it burn down? Did it get knocked down? But there is a new or newer house. It's 200 years old, the house next door. But we met the neighbours who lived there, and we were talking to them, and they told us all sorts of stories about this house. So in the early 1900s, I'm not going to say the name of who this man was because you'll be able to find out exactly where we are. There was a very famous murderer who lived in the house next door. He went to Broadmoor prison. I don't want to give too much away. Basically, a very, very famous murderer lived in the house next door, and he supposedly killed his solicitor in a drunken quarrel. So there's definitely a history with the house next door. The house that we live in was during, I believe it was the War of the Roses, the family that lived in this house, the husband went off to war, and thinking he would be home soon, boarded his family into the house so they couldn't get out in an attempt to keep them safe. And then he actually died at war. And so the story goes that the family died in the house. It would be so naive of me to think that the house isn't haunted, for sure. We have found bones in the walls when we've been renovating. We found a witch's bottle, because we are in Witch County. So we're where the witch trials were in the 1600s, I think it was. I think it was 1612. Once we started doing the work to the house, the eerie feeling very much left. It sounds ridiculous, but it's almost as though the house accepted us and realised that we're going to take care of it and not damage it or harm it. And I feel incredibly welcome and safe here now, and I haven't felt that uneasy way since, well, 3 years ago. It's very, very different now, but there is definitely a presence to it. So things do go bang in the night, things do move around. The cats freak me out a little bit, so they will be fast asleep on the back of the sofa. I'll be sat opposite them, and there'll be nothing will happen, no noise, nothing. They'll both just wake up, turn, and like watch as if someone's walking. That I don't enjoy when they do that. It does give me the chills, but I don't feel threatened by whatever it is that they're seeing. The other thing that I find strange is next door, which was originally part of this house, and the other 2 houses down here, down our lane, all have basements, but we don't, supposedly, which just doesn't make sense to me, because why would every other house except this one have a basement? So I do question, is there a hidden cellar or basement somewhere with some awful secrets in it? But we're yet to find it if so. So a lot of questions about how Norton and I met. This is actually a great story. I don't think he'll mind me telling it. So yeah, probably the second most frequently asked question was how Norton and I met, which is so nice that you guys are interested in that. So I am now 29. I met Norton technically when I was 11, 12, and he was 18. Obviously nothing romantic happened then, but my family used to go to the local Italian restaurant every weekend for dinner, and I very quickly realised that there was a very good looking waiter who worked at this restaurant, and I would go all the time. I was way too shy to ever even order my food. My mum would have to order for me because I was just in love. We used to go, and we'd go for years and years, and then eventually Norton moved to America and stopped working there, and I was heartbroken. And at some point, I think we had mutual friends because his sister is my age. A couple of the girls from my school, when we were older, added him on Facebook, as you do. And then on my 20th birthday, I got a message on Facebook saying happy birthday, and it was him. And it was just the craziest thing, because I'd completely forgotten about him. So we chatted back and forth for a bit, and then he invited me to go and play tennis, and so I did. And then we went for dinner afterwards, and we just got on like a house on fire. I've never been in a situation or on a date or even with a friend where it's just been that easy and you've clicked that quickly. We just got on so well, and yeah, he is now my husband. So the rest really is history. So yeah, we've known each other a really long time, and when we got married just over 4 weeks ago now, which is crazy that it's been 4 weeks. But in his groom speech at the wedding, he did mention the way we met, because all of his friends wind him up all the time about it. But I do think it's quite funny that we have known each other for so long. If you can hear some squeaking, Wilma is snoring on the sofa behind you. What do you and your husband do for work? So Norton is a teacher, and he is head of year at a boarding school near here, an amazing school actually. But yeah, he is a science teacher, and he's so clever and incredible at his job. I definitely couldn't do what he does. Yeah, he is a teacher. I have recently just changed my career, you may or may not know. So I've worked in e-commerce for the last 10 years. I was creative director of a homeware business, and in August of this year, I took the plunge and became a full-time content creator, which doesn't even feel real to say still. I think it is the scariest decision I've ever made, leaving my really secure, comfortable, steady 9 to 5 and jumping into a very unknown, very new world, but it is by far the best thing I've ever done. The difference in my mental health now and then is just, they're worlds apart, and I loved my job. I feel very fortunate that I got to do what I did, and it was still in the kind of world that I love with homeware, and I got to do a lot of photography and make the campaigns and whatnot for the business. But doing what I do now is just it's a whole different thing, and I love it so much, and I feel so grateful. I feel so grateful that I get to wake up every day and do what I love. It doesn't feel like I work. Like I feel like I don't have a job, which I definitely do, because I think I work so much harder now than I did previously. But because I'm having the best time while I do it, it really doesn't feel like work. So hopefully that comes across on my Instagram as well. I'm genuinely love what I do. I'm so lucky to be able to do it. Oh, this is a good question. How has life changed for you since the wedding? It's a good question. Norton and I have obviously been together 9-10 years, so we lived together already, so nothing really has actually changed. I still need to change my name officially, legally. It's on my to-do list. But no, I would say nothing really has changed. Oh, good question. What do you do to relax? I suffer with the worst anxiety, and your page instantly calms me down. Firstly, that's such a lovely thing to say. Thank you. That is my biggest kind of goal with my Instagram page. I love creating the very comforting, calming content. Genuinely, the things that I post on my Instagram are the things that calm me down. I think it just kind of organically happened that I think when I'm at my most comfortable is when I'm happy to kind of pick up the camera and record. So doing the things that I do, like cleaning the house, resets my brain. I find that so calming. It's so personal to each person, and everyone finds different things that calm them down. I've definitely had periods in my life where I've suffered with anxiety really, really badly. I've had a lot of therapy that has definitely, I think, helped me learn to manage that. I still get it. I think it's very normal to get some of it. If you do suffer with it really badly, obviously it's important that you get help if you can. So yeah, like I say, I've had a lot of therapy over the years. I did lose my dad when I was 15 under very sudden, horrible circumstances. And obviously with that came a boatload of anxiety and I would say probably depression for a couple of years, if I'm being truthful. But in that process, I've very much learned how to handle my emotions, and I learned what works for me. So if I am having a period of particularly bad anxiety or stress, I find that being outside is like the number one thing that I can do for my head. I think taking yourself out of your situation. So if you can go for a walk, even just half an hour, get some fresh air, get some daylight, go get yourself a coffee or maybe a decaf. Caffeine's like the worst thing for me when I'm really anxious. It just makes me feel like I'm going to explode. Yeah, just get yourself outside would be my biggest thing. Usually when I get home, say I have had a really anxious day and I take myself for a walk, when I get home, whatever it was I was anxious about usually doesn't feel quite as heavy. It doesn't always necessarily make it go away, but it definitely takes the edge off for me personally. Other things that I do to calm me down, I do a lot of what I would call granny hobbies. So I love my embroidery and knitting and crafts. I have always really been into arts and crafts. It's just something that I've always done. So as I was growing up, my mum and dad worked a lot, so I would draw, paint, make things. It's just something I naturally do, and it occupies like the thinking part of my brain. So when I'm making something, it's like that part of my brain can't think too heavily about what I'm stressed about. My current fixation is my embroidery because I'm making a Christmas advent calendar, and it's so easy and so cheap to do. But yeah, I will say the main thing that's helped me is definitely my therapy. I haven't been for years and years, but I definitely still feel the impact of it. I think I'm in a really good place with my mental health, especially given the amount of change that's happened this year. So lots of you guys wanted to know about the Christmas decorations in the house. Are we finished? The answer is no. I'm really funny about Christmas decorations. I kind of view them the same as I do the rest of the home decor, and I really don't like buying things that I can't see myself keeping. So I'll go into Home Sense and I'll see loads of beautiful things, but I know that next Christmas I probably won't want them. I'm quite proud of myself that I've really got in the rhythm of not giving in to that kind of impulse purchase. There's definitely moments where I do, and there's definitely things that I buy and I think, oh, that was probably a mistake, but I'm really trying to be conscious of if I'm buying something, I want to invest in something that I can keep. So it needs to be good quality that will last hopefully decades. And if things could be passed down to my children one day, if we have any, that is my goal with what we're buying. My main thing is I want that nostalgic feeling of when I used to decorate for Christmas with my mum. We'd get the decorations out and you open the box and it's like, oh my God, it's like the instant magic of Christmas hits you. That is what I want to recreate very much with our decorations. I want them to be like pure nostalgia, so emotive, and just spark so many memories every time you open the box each year. That's the kind of essence of what I'm trying to create. So we're not quite finished. We do actually still need to put up the tree. I'm getting that tomorrow with my mum. We're getting a real tree this year, which is so exciting. So I'll maybe bring you guys along for that if I can. I'm very new to this whole vlogging situation. It feels so different on my camera than my phone. I'm so comfortable with picking my phone up and recording myself because I've done it so much now. Whereas the camera, oh, it's scary. But I definitely want to conquer that fear. So I'll maybe bring you guys out with me to get my tree. We're gonna go for brunch as well, which is lovely. All the rest of the questions are pretty similar to the ones I've already covered, so I'll probably leave that there. Even just reading through the responses and the fact that so many of you actually put yourselves out there and ask me questions is so lovely. And I think because this whole kind of content creation journey is so new still, it still just blows my mind that there's people out there that like are interested in what I'm doing, and it's so lovely. And so I really do feel so lucky with the community that I've built on Instagram, and I'm really excited to transition that onto YouTube as well. I'm excited to vlog a little bit more. Obviously it means I can document the renovation process in more detail, which is something I've been itching to do, because in a 90-second video you just can't get across all of the elements of renovating a room or a house. If there's anything that you would like to see from this channel, please do let me know in the comments. The only other 2 videos that I posted 7 months ago were a how to line point for beginners tutorial and a tour of the house. But please do let me know if there's anything specific that you want to see, whether that is renovation stuff or vlogs or tutorials, whatever it is. Please let me know, because this platform is very much like a moving thing in my brain right now, and I want to create content that I enjoy making, but I also want to make content that you guys will enjoy watching. So please do let me know what that is. I hope you've enjoyed this video and learning a little bit more about me and life and the house. It's been so nice to chat with you guys. If you did enjoy this video, please do subscribe. I'm very new to this platform, so it would massively help me, and if you could give this video a thumbs up, that would be amazing. Hopefully I will see you guys in the not too distant future with a new video, and in the meantime I will see you over on Instagram. Bye! Oh, I got a sleepy cat. I got a sleepy cat. Yes.